A warning to all about to listen to this podcast. The following audio may contain spoilers and inappropriate language, but most importantly, this podcast will definitely contain some bad opinions. You have been warned, but for now, let's get on with the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Anime Abroad podcast, the place to be for all of your anime recommendations and reviews, but just bear in mind, we may make your favourite anime a little bit shittier, although I'm sure in this episode it's going to be a little bit more literal than usual. Joining me on the show this week, I have Iru.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, good night, whatever the fuck's going on with you. I don't know. I'm not there.
And Tom from UE's Pods decided to come back and join us again. Tom, welcome.
Hey guys.
And we are going to start off, as we tend to do, with question of the day or week. What is your least favourite anime OP of all time?
Oh, we're going all time now? Oh, I thought we were just going like current one.
Yeah, I don't know. I could name like a couple of shitty ones, but man, it's probably got to be like a Naruto filler. OP, because those were so bad.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more I kind of want to say, was it Pokemon Diamond and Pearl? It was like, it's a battle, win or lose. Or was that Advanced Battle or Master Quest? I can't remember. That one was really, really bad. So as it stands right now, I'm gonna pick that one. I think that one's really bad. In fact, Iru, what was the one you had in your top 10? Not so long ago.
That made you sick to your stomach?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I was right. That was the Nyarko one.
Oh, God.
I thought you were doing Thunderbirds for a second there.
I remember putting the video together and I thought, oh, I'll listen to all of them as I go along. And I got halfway through that and I'm just looking at my screen just in disbelief and my ears are like, what the fucking hell is this? And you got some really bad taste in anime and OPs, my friend. That's really bad.
Shit are you watching, Iru?
Yeah, exactly. What shit are you watching, Iru? So, Iru, have you actually decided on your worst OP of all time?
Well, I can just kind of take a shot in the dark and say that the current Fairy Tail one is not the greatest. I mean, there's been fantastic OPs here and there, and then there's just been some real questionable ones. And actually, I think it also tends to follow that the good OPs stick with the manga storyline, and the shitty OPs go fillers.
Whoa.
Your microphone's trying to kill itself.
God damn it, and it used to be so good.
Did it fall over or something?
No, I'm wearing a headset. I think one of the wiring in it's going bad or something, which would suck. Is it better now?
Yeah,
it's better now. Just keep your head perfectly still and then repeat what you
just don't move your head.
I was saying, I believe that with Fairy Tail, they tend to keep the good OPs matched up with what's going on in the manga storyline, and then when they go to the filler, they have these crappy OPs that they just... Oh yeah, here we need to throw something in for an extra minute and a half of screen time. So
I feel like that's a common theme with most of the big shonen. Like they've just got so many OPs that they're just like, okay, like we're gonna have some really memorable ones that people like fondly remember, you know?
Yeah.
But the rest of them we're just gonna like pay my mate fucking like just like 30 yen and he's just gonna come in with his like kids band and we're just gonna. And they're just going to record it for next to nothing, you know. But no one will mind because no one's watching because we're in fillers right now, so we'll get away with it.
Pretty much. Like I said, I watched through it once and I was like, oh, okay, that's it.
Because like thinking back, like some of the Bleach ones are really terrible. Just like it's like in the middle of the pile, just like like 6 till 12 or something like that.
Right.
I've got to say, I've got to give you guys credit for actually watching the longer shows like Bleach and Fairy Tail and Naruto. I've watched all of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, but I couldn't imagine having to go through all of that again.
Well, my soul's paid the price, I'm actually half dead on the inside. So, it came at a cost.
I almost have to agree with that because before I started watching anime, I didn't like half the weird shit that I like now. I think I can solely blame a lot of what I like now on Japan. And
Anime has broken you.
And well, yeah, and then if you think about it, like some of the shorter shows, they may have some weird elements to it, but it's not really present for the whole time. So it's, 12 episodes and then it's done. But you watch something like Fairy Tail and it's 175 episodes, 190 episodes in now. And it's just like, oh man, they really like that theme, huh? Okay. It's starting to grow on me. It's a little bit worrying.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Nothing kills a soul more than watching Bleach just wither and die over 5 years.
I suppose it's kind of the same now for Dragon Ball Z, having to go back and watching some of the movies.
It's not the same, dude. It's not the same.
Your suffering's on the level to mine.
Yeah, Bleach was just... I mean, kind of like how we were talking about SAO, how it sets the bar super high. Like, the first arc of Bleach is, like, probably some of the best shonen you'll ever watch. And then it literally just goes on, like, a 200-episode slant down. And before you realize it, it's complete, utter garbage, but you're still watching it and you don't know why anymore.
See, my problem with Bleach is I didn't ever try to get into the manga, so I didn't know where filler started and ended. So by the time I got through episode 200 and somebody told me, he's like, oh yeah, like half that was filler. I was like, what? I just wasted, 30 hours of my life watching this bullshit. It's and then when I tried to rewatch Bleach, I had a guide open with me so I could skip over the filler episodes, and I was just like, this is too much work. I don't even want to watch the rest of this shit anymore. And yeah, it was a really good show. I really enjoyed it despite all the shit people were talking about it.
Well, Rescue Rukia arc is like, it deserves to go down in like anime history as probably one of the best arcs in shonen. But everything after that point is just utter shit. And the thing is you keep waiting and hoping that it's going to like go back to what it was. But Tito Kube's just there, just like milking the cash cow and drinking like margaritas on the Hawaiian island and getting his like nephew to write the actual Bleach. He just like signs his name on it when it's done, No, man, Bleach. Oh man, Bleach changed me.
Changed you.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about Naruto ending at all?
No, none of us actually watch Naruto on the. Wait, actually, do any of us watch Naruto?
Nate was the only one who's really watched it.
Sure.
And he actually came to us and said this week, I'm probably not going to be on the podcast anymore. So the only person qualified to talk about Naruto is gone. He's buggered off.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly a qualification.
Yeah.
It's like you put it on your CV. It's like, I can talk about Naruto.
Love that.
Wow, that's it. You can be a pilot. You can be a pilot at British Airways. That's great. How's your One Piece knowledge?
Mediocre. All right, we'll keep it away from the bar then.
Yeah. We'll have to get back to it, I'm afraid. One Piece. If you haven't seen all of One Piece, it's just how you're going to handle the controls. No. Yeah, Naruto ending. I mean, it's like big in terms of like a news story. It's one of the biggest of the year, but I mean, there's not much to say other than that, really, except from like the very last chapter. It shows who banged who.
Who banged who?
Pretty, yeah, because it's like set like, so chapter 700, the final chapter, was set like 10 years in the future when they've all like pretty much every single character in the series is just like hooked up with another character, got married and had kids.
At least it's a nice ending for most people anyway, like Harry Potter.
Yeah, it is actually kind of like Harry Potter, yeah.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought of, because I remember seeing the end of Harry Potter and I was just like, wait.
I'm still waiting for Harry Potter kids.
Harry got the younger Weasley and then Ron and Hermione? What the fuck is going on?
Hermione's only hot in the movies. Hermione's only hot in the movies, so...
Yeah, she's made to sound like just to be a complete and utter nerd in the books.
Yeah.
True. I was going to say Emma Watson's so fine though, so...
Like typical British teeth, really bushy, horrible hair, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right then.
Ginny's supposed to be way hotter, but yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going. we can always save that for another day. I was going to say, shall we jump into the main course of the show?
I think we should.
Yes.
The
I am hungry.
Feed
blood.
Me more collective review of Heavens Memo Pad or Kami-sama no Memo Chu, which is a show you guys haven't finished, but I've been. I read
up on the synopsis.
I was kind of dying to review this for a long time, but then like far too much time has passed, and then like you two guys were like, oh, yeah, we've seen most of it. We could totally do a show about it. And now the time has actually come on. Like, I probably should have rewatched most of this like last night or during the day today, so I can actually refresh myself. But I do have my guidance notes from past Dave, so we can just dig into that. Yeah, Heavens Memo Pad. Interesting show, interesting synopsis. It's all about a neat detective agency, and I'm not quite sure where the neat part really kicks into it.
Yeah, sounds neat.
Here's one thing that pissed me off right away about that show. If the definition of neat, no, it's not neat. She calls herself a hikikomori. If a hikikomori is supposed to stay inside 24/7, why the fuck does she go downstairs and leave the house? Like in the second episode.
And the guys in the neat detective squad aren't actually neat, because neat stands for not in employment, education, or training. They've all got jobs, and two of them have got jobs and one's in college. And the other guy's in school, the main character's in school. So,
because NHK came out and that was popular, right? So let's put neat on our show. Maybe it'll sell.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. I'm actually gonna let you guys say what you liked about it before I set myself loose.
Yeah, Dave, I'll let you go first because I'm gonna back you up with everything before. Well, Tom said earlier, starts burning bridges.
Well, for anybody who wants a synopsis or anything like that, I haven't written one down. So the only notes I've got is it was made in 2011, made by JC Staff, and it was written by some guy called Minakami. Minakami. Seishi Minakami. That dude, anyway. For any and all further details, go to Wikipedia and my anime list. I was going to jump into the story and ask what you guys thought about the story and like how that's from what you guys have watched up to what you actually think of the story itself. I'm going to go with you first, Eru, because you've watched more episodes than some.
I'm trying to figure out if I like this show or not. It's enjoyable. The story kind of jumps around because it's more of a vignette type series where they've got these little mini arcs in each episode or throughout a couple episodes. The first case they take was just like an introduction. The second one was kind of cool. I will not go into comments about Mayo, but
oh my god.
And then the arc that I really liked was the one with Renji. That was the one where I think the show had its greatest amount of depth of emotion.
That was certainly the turning point for me when they started dropping all of the goofy stuff and then started like really nailing down all the serious points.
Yeah, but then the next
more serious anyway.
Oh yeah, nothing more goofy than prostitution and suicide.
No, but I mean, some of the jokey kind of stuff. I was thinking more of it only.
Well, that's my point. They're joking while talking about prostitution and suicide. You know, it's like they don't know where to draw the line between. They really don't know where to draw the line between goofy and serious.
Yeah, because you know what I mean? When you have something as serious as that, you can't really be too goofy.
It needs gravity. It needs gravity, or else it's kind of just insulting. Yeah. Anyway. Keep going.
I forgot what I was going to say then.
Well, and then
you go, Eru. I've forgotten what I was going to say.
It's just a couple other things. I mean, like I was saying, after we have this fantastic 4-episode Renji arc, then they have a single episode of, our rent's going to go up, so let's play this baseball game, and it's completely comedic and lighthearted and all this other shit. And it's like, where did that come from?
That's what I was going to say as well. That's what I was going to say before. We have that story about that involved the prostitution and what have you, and then we go from that into an episode where the woman who owns the restaurant, so like basically all of the crew hang around a ramen shop, and that's basically their main.
They hang out in the back alley type shit.
We go from what was supposed to be what I think was supposed to be a serious case that they were on, and then the next case is some guy keeps sneaking into the shop and stealing the woman who owns the shop's. What do you call it? That bandage that she has in place of a bra. What was that called? Like
booby wraps.
We'll call it a booby wrap.
Yeah, there's some special name for it, but booby wraps is better.
It's basically just some bandages wrapped around the breast instead of having a bra. And some guy keeps breaking into the ramen shop and he keeps stealing it, and then eventually gets caught. And the guy just has this mental breakdown. He's like, I work for a lingerie company and I come into this ramen restaurant all the time and you should be wearing some of the greatest negligees on the planet. And I'm like, what the fuck's this all about? And then towards the end of the episode, one of the guys in the Neat Detectives crew was like, so you can tell any woman's breast size just by looking at it. And he's like, yeah, I can. And his first instinct was like, so how about that 10-year-old girl upstairs? What size bra do you reckon she is? By the way, can you get her some lingerie as well? And I'm like, what was this purely filler episode? What was it all about? And are they trying to be like serious, light point, serious, light point, serious, light points? Obviously, towards the end, that stopped. But in a 12-episode show, like, where's the room for stupid filler like this? As much as I love the show, which I do, I just can't understand why stupid little bits of comedy were thrown in here. Especially with a ridiculous storyline of, like, who keeps stealing that woman's bra?
You know what's funny? That's actually the only episode I didn't mind that much.
Oh my God.
Because it wasn't fucking anything up. Like, it was just standard anime bullshit rather than, like, trying to take on something, like, far greater than it can handle. So, and also the ramen shop woman was the only character I didn't hate. That her and the gigolo.
He's funny as fuck.
The characters
can I borrow some money?
the characters who I absolutely loved. What was the gangster's name? The fourth?
So.
Yeah, that guy, his crew are fucking fantastic. They are some of the funniest characters I've ever met in my life. They're all like steroid jacked up guys who are all like the age of like 30 to 40 years old, and they all act like teenage guys.
No, you know what was the greatest part is obviously they weren't supposed to look in that box that what's his face brought from Alice, but it takes fucking 6 guys to carry a teddy bear in a box. What
I know. It took like one of them to bring it into the building,
and, like pacing themselves. It's like, are you kidding me? One guy could carry that with one hand.
So I actually have some questions about that because I in my notes, the majority of the theme of my notes is what the fuck is going on? Because I genuinely just could not keep track of what was happening because it jumped around so much and it never explained what was happening.
You mean the teddy bear?
So, like, were those guys Yakuza?
Yeah, they were. They're not exactly the Yakuza, but they're some kind of an offshoot of the Yakuza, I think.
So does the Neat Detective crew work for them, or do they work? Or does the Yakuza work for the detective crew? Like
the entire show that never actually gets explained. The head of the Yakuza,
sure.
The head of the Yakuza has something to do with Alice, and I'm not entirely certain what it is. Like
exactly. There's no explanation for why those two creeps hang out whatsoever.
What was it that they actually called Alice? Was it like
they just fucking showed up? They just showed up in like episode 1 or 2, something like that. Yeah. And Alice calls the ramen shop woman master, but what's up with that? Is that just because she lives downstairs?
In my mind somewhere, I kind of want to imagine that Alice and the ramen shop owner were sisters. Because
I mean, that would explain a lot. It would be very
because
easy.
I'm thinking to myself, otherwise, why would you let this 10-year-old kid or however old she is live in your upstairs apartment, drain your electricity dry, and have internet bills of extortionate amounts?
30 monitors surrounding her.
She is just surrounded in a room that's
well, she's never using. By the way, she never fucking uses any of those
screensavers of teddy bears.
Exactly. And then every now and then she'll use a CCTV system, and only 4 of the monitors are actually used in the CCTV monitors. I'm like, you seriously, you have like 4 cameras between, like, in the entire shop, and this is supposed to be some master covert operation that you run in here. What fucking kind of Mickey Mouse organization is this?
It's a detective. She's an angel of death or something. I don't know.
For the dead. That's what she kept calling herself.
She just chatted. All the characters in the show chatted immense volumes of shit.
But Alice was especially up there with the rest of them in terms of that chat.
It's just like he was just right.
For the dead stuff.
I can just imagine the writer of the show just like, yeah, man, this is so fucking deep and edgy, and it's just like he's just like drawing, like he's basically just like Charlie from Always Sunny. He's just like drawing shapes, and he thinks it's a masterpiece or something.
Just drawing
shapes. Nothing that came out of those characters' mouths made any fucking sense.
I can just imagine.
I thought it was a sub.
as he's writing all this shit down, and he's just like. No, that's good shit. Okay, carry on. He just don't get me wrong. Like some of the show is complete and utter bullshit, but I forgot the point I was going to make again. I am on fucking form today, ladies and gentlemen.
Real quick, since Archer over here is brain farting, I want to point out the other thing that I'm taking real big issue with is Japan has really strict gun laws, like extremely strict. Even the cops don't carry guns. How the fuck does that college student who's supposed to have no job and no money have a fucking AR-15 with scopes and all this shit? And
and when every time he moves it sounds like a shotgun pumping. You notice that?
The sound director.
It's like,
do you know? I really appreciated the guy who's the sound director for this. I thought the OST was great, but like the more and more I spoke to you, and the more and more like you guys are talking now, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, he really didn't do a good job, did he? In terms of the sound effects being used in the show and the actual OST itself, which we'll move on to in a moment. I was just going to say, just to sum up what I think of the... Is that the ice cream man?
Sounds like it. Dave's gonna go.
This has happened so many times when we start recording, and then the ice cream man just drives past my fucking window.
It's alright, man.
It's 8:45 as well.
The ice cream truck.
Right, yeah, so basically to sum up what I think of the story, I think it starts off really goofy and really stupid, and it's kind of, the show itself is actually kind of schizophrenic in what it's trying to be. Is it trying to be a comedy? Is it trying to be a mystery? And when it comes to trying to be a mystery, I'm not quite sure why it's actually called a mystery, because it's not. There's no mystery.
More drama than mystery.
Yeah, it should have been called a drama.
It's a mystery like Scooby-Doo's a mystery, you know?
It's like we all know who the bad guy is, but for fuck's sake,
those meddling kids
and the stupid teddy bears.
Look, if Final Fantasy X or X-2 can make a Scooby-Doo reference, I was half expecting this too.
Did it really?
Well. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy X-2 made a Scooby-Doo reference.
I clearly didn't get that far, but oh my god.
Even as far as saying I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It's a horrible.
Anyway, tangent over. Yeah.
So the story, in my honest opinion, I do think I think it's probably episodes 1 through to 4 weren't that great, but then after that, it very slowly stops dropping all the goofy stuff, minus that baseball episode that Iru mentioned then, and I'd say the point where Iru got up to, that's when stuff really, really, really did start getting serious. And then that I think it was at that point when I actually kind of fell in love with the show, when a huge spoiler moment happens that I'm not going to ruin. I think that's when the show really does pick up. And it's a damn shame that it took so long to get there. Because I think that I think the story was pretty good. Well, not pretty good. It was okay. It was enjoyable. I could watch it. But there was so many good things about that story that I just didn't delve into deep enough.
I want to finish the last 2 episodes just to see what happens, but I'm kind of worried that they're not going to be able to wrap up this spoiler moment and why all that shit's going down enough in these 2 episodes.
I had the exact same feeling. Like in the beginning, it's kind of like how I mentioned to Tom about Golden Time in the previous podcast. At the beginning, I thought, this is going way too fucking quick. And then we got towards the end, I'm like, they really don't have enough time left to explain everything. But in the case of Golden Time and Heavens Memo Pad, they do leave enough time at the end to wrap everything up quite nice. Which actually leads me to say, I do honestly think that this show has one of my... I'm not going to say it's one of the best endings of all time. I'm going to say it's one of my favorite endings of all time. Just because of what happens in the end with the soundtrack, and there's this really big feel-good moment that almost kind of left me in tears towards the end, actually thinking about it.
All right. Okay. So I read up the synopsis on Wikipedia, so like I know exactly like what happens. Like, is this actually the reason? I'm just going to copy and paste an excerpt from Wikipedia into the thing. Like, Ty, if you don't want to get spoiled, but that just sounds like the lamest shit in the world. It does for like a reason for that. On
paper, like that is exactly what happens. On paper, it does look kind of...
In what context could that be like deep or meaningful?
The fuck?
It wasn't really supposed to be... I suppose it was trying to be deep and meaningful, but I don't know. I just
the word "trying" is a really common theme when we talk about the show because it doesn't succeed at anything.
I was going to kind of come onto this in the animation and visuals. Like, I think it's a pretty standard looking
Oh
show.
my god, dude.
It's not the best in terms of animation or visuals whatsoever, and I'll let you get onto that in a second, but all I was going to say was the flowers blooming, the conversation that was happening on the roof, and the music that kicked in at that moment. It was every tiny little element that when they were actually combined together, I think correctly this time round, was actually really good. But the more and more I hear you two talking about it, it's more like, when I did originally want to review this show, I was kind of like, do I need to be brought back down to earth? Did I really just overhype this? And the more and more I'm listening to it, it kind of seems like I am being brought back down to earth. I would say actually,
yeah, man.
I actually kind of want to hear what Eru wants to say once he does watch that ending, and see what kind of a scope that he got from it. But yeah, it's
sure.
It's kind of depressing in a way to have the show being deconstructed like this, and I'm having to sit here and listen to it. I've been in denial for so long. Like, no, this show was fucking fantastic. But
oh, don't get me wrong.
Well, you know, man, you put the warning at the start of your own show, man.
Yeah, This is true. And so
I'm just here to do the thing that you guys, you guys told me.
I will say that compared to some of the more action-y shows I've been watching lately, it was a nice change of pace. It took things, or I shouldn't say it took things slower, but it was much slower in its, and I guess in its scenery, because, I mean, there really isn't much fighting or anything like that, but I think that's why I may have enjoyed it more, but overall, it's just, I don't know.
I mean, I know
still 50-50 about it.
I know the reason why I enjoyed this so much. It's because I went through a pretty big void. Like, I didn't watch anime for like, probably about a month, maybe. Like, and that's a long time for me. Like, that's the longest I've been in between watching shows. Obviously, I was keeping up on my week to week things, but I hadn't actually sat down and marathoned the show. It took like 2 or 3 days to watch a show, and that's just I just gotten done watching something else. I can't for the life of me remember what it was. And I remember that it's funny I say that because I remember that show being really good. Now I can't fucking remember what it is. And then I went through this void, and I tried to watch a couple of other shows. Like, I think Witch Hunter Robin was in that stopgap, and I just couldn't get into that show, even though the story was pretty good. And then I finally come across this show, and I've been watching as you said, then a ton of action shows. Everything was really fast paced, and then to watch this, it was a nice slow down. The first 4 episodes went great, but then once the story started getting a little bit more serious, I started enjoying it a little bit more. And then I've been waiting so long for something great to happen. Once that ending finally happened, and because I enjoyed it so much, it kind of took that show where it probably should be a 6 out of 10 to like what I would call an 8 out of 10. So I think that's the reason why I enjoyed it so much.
I mean, endings are really important. Like, an ending can completely change how you feel about a show.
Like, I think Code Geass would be a massive, like, not to say Code Geass is crap in any way, but the ending to season 2, that's what took that show from like a 7 to like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10.
It was a solid ending, yeah. I actually think the ending, I think the last few episodes are the best part of the entire series. But I mean, a Code Geass conversation would take us like at least 30 minutes, I think. I have to say, dude, if you'd watched Durarara instead of watching this show, I think Durarara might have been one of your 5 favorite shows ever. Because like, clearly you were like, your like dopamine levels like spiked or something when you got that anime rush. So it put you in this like sweet spot. It put you in like this sweet spot for just like if you'd watched a good anime, man, imagine how much better it would have been.
Yeah, I can't help but think that now, if I would have watched something like Durarara, which is very, very highly rated by a lot of people, if I'd have watched that instead, or like there's a couple of other shows I've still yet to watch that I just haven't gotten around to that have been highly rated by a lot of people. But instead I watched this show, so
yeah, like Durarara immediately like. Because this show's OST is quite good, but we'll get to that later because I kind of just want to wrap up my thoughts on the writing and stuff. But this show came like a year after Durarara, and honestly, it just feels like it feels closer to ripping off than inspiration. And everything that Durarara does so well, this show has none of it. Because Durarara just feels so bright and energetic and like lively, where this show just feels so bland and stale and boring. Like, it's set in the same city, but Durarara makes you feel like you're in this giant city and there's all these things happening at once.
Whereas most of the show takes place in rooms and back alleys.
It might as well be set on a stage. Yeah, it might as well be a stage show, you know? It takes place in like 3 locations. You know? But I really, really need to highlight the 3 stupidest things I saw in the show.
Go ahead.
Because like the writing is bad, but there's just 3 things which, yeah. Okay, so first off, the Renji has Yu-Gi-Oh hair, and I have to say that. I have to point that out. He has Yu-Gi-Oh hair.
Dude, I swear to God, first thing I thought it was, I'm like, am I watching Yu-Gi-Oh? Is this Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, really?
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh hair is only acceptable in Yu-Gi-Oh because it set that premise like from day one. So whenever you watch a Yu-Gi-Oh series, you're expecting the stupidest hair you've ever seen. And you're okay with it because it's Yu-Gi-Oh hair. But no, this is supposed to be like a real show set in a real world with real people. So that hair was just fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But there's 2 scenes which I literally just had to pause and just like spin in my chair with my hands on my face. It's like, what the fuck was this? The first one is like, they're both really early on, by the way. The first one is where Mio, it's like, so Mio is like sad about her dad or something, and she has a flashback to remember like how great her dad was. And it was at the airport, and it's like, they just arrived in Japan, and Mio's dad was like, Mio, what do you think of Japan? And she's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And they're stood in the fucking airport terminal. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid?
That's some pretty
You
good
literally
stuff,
just came from an identical terminal on the other side. From wherever you came from, you were just in another airport. You know what an airport looks like. And the worst thing, though, was like episode 1, where Alice probably asked someone to do something, and the main character, who was just one of the worst main characters I've ever seen, but the main character raises his hand. Yeah, the main character raises his hand and then like surprises himself by it. And he looks at his hand like, what the fuck? And then he grabs his hand with his other hand and brings it down.
I remember that, yeah.
Like, I was so confused. I was wondering if he was like possessed or something, like Liquid Snake had taken over his arm. Yeah. It's just like, it's just the worst fucking writing. It's just... like I literally had to pause and take a walk after that because it was like, so over the top. I couldn't handle it. It was like a 10-year-old. It's like, and the main character raised his hand without even noticing. It's like, no one does that. Sorry. I'm trying to really contain myself, but like
you don't have to. I'm already being talked down out of my original score anyway. So anything else you want to throw on top of this bonfire, go for it.
I will end my little rant on what I thought was the show's only like good point, which was the OST. Can I just point out that the show, I don't know if you guys noticed this, and this is actually amazing, and I really have to give the show credit for this because this is fantastic, but the show did like a rewrite of 99 Problems and it was 99 Neats. And it was literally like, did you guys notice the 99 Neats song in the background?
No.
It was like episode 4 or 5. It was episode 4 or 5, but it was straight up 99 Problems with a Japanese dude talking about 99 Needs. And I couldn't catch much of the lyrics, but I caught that bit. I was just like, wow. Okay. Heavens Memo Pad. Yeah.
I'm just feeling so fucking down about this now, man.
From the first couple of minutes, the OST just screamed Durarara to me. Like of all the places the show takes inspiration, and I use that very I'm giving the show a lot of credit when I say it takes inspiration and not saying blatantly rips off. But they did actually do the OST really well. Like I'll say the OST is almost as good as Durarara's OST. It's just like the context of the show is just so like oceans apart. You know, like the Heavens Memo Pad OST would have fit in Durarara, I think. And there was parts where I was literally tapping my feet along to the OST and I was just glazing out of the show, just enjoying the music. When they weren't ruining by having the guy's phone just go really loud over the music, which again, the sound designer needs to get fired. It was so bad. But yeah, no, that's the most positive thing I can say is the OST was really solid. At
least that's one thing we can agree on then. The OST is actually really good. In terms of all the music in the show, I'm not a big fan of the OP, but both of the EDs are fucking fantastic. We got Colorado Bulldog by Mr. Big, and I'm a pretty big Mr. Big fan. And I love that song. So like when that kicked in at the end of episode 1, I was like, oh yeah, man, fucking an ED by Mr. Big. I'm fucking down with this. But then they changed it in episode 2, and it's a song called Asunaro by a guy called Kenichi Suzumura. If you can go out and find the song, go out and give it a listen. It's probably my favorite ED of all time. And I liked it so much, I decided to steal it and use it as our ED for the podcast now. So that little song that you hear at the end of the podcast, it's the ED from Heavens Memo Pad. So I'd highly recommend you all go out and check that out.
That's pretty smart, dude. Stealing an ED from a show that, like, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, like,
you never get copyrighted for it.
All the people that own the rights to that show just fucking bailed. So I really doubt anyone's going to follow it up because he wants to take credit for this piece of shit. Who's going to put their hand up and say, yeah, I own Heaven's Memo Pad?
I'm done. To be completely honest,
sorry, dude.
I don't know. It's okay. It's all I was going to say is then I don't know how we've gotten away with using the opening for the podcast for so long, because that song was off it. That is the Angel Beats OP, but the rock version that was in episode 4 or 5, for episode 4 it was when Yui joined Girls Dead Monster, and it's the instrumental version to that, and I'm thinking, how the fuck have I gotten away with using that for so long? Not one person's pulled me up for it yet. So we covered the characters pretty much. We've got there's not really that much to say about them. Alice is a little haughty bitch. The main character, Narumi, is it? Narumi, okay,
yeah, it's
cool.
Narumi. Can't you hear me?
No, you cut Alice a little bit. So Narumi, he kind of reminded me of Otanashi from Angel Beat. Yeah, there is a little bit of lag in here. Shall we try rehosting the call? Technical difficulty.
I was literally just, if someone picked up, so another one of these people picked up, and it seems like we have a new person in the call.
Nate, go away.
No.
He's alive.
Do you remember how?
Calling me. I want to go to sleep.
Well, go to sleep then. We're recording the podcast.
This
Well,
smells like
fucking...
outtakes.
Who sends a call during the middle of a fucking recording?
Yeah.
We had bandwidth problems. Do you remember how?
So you call like 8 people, and it's just like, wow, this could get funny.
Do you remember before how I was saying, oh, yeah, but Nate's pretty busy. He might not be on the podcast for a long time, and here he fucking is.
Half asleep, mind you, but he's still here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bleok, could you give us the 3 R's on Heaven's Memo Pad before you go, please?
Oh, sweet Jesus. There was not enough lolicon in that show. There was enough Dr. Pepper in that show to fill up my entire refrigerator. It couldn't make up for the lack of lolicon in that show.
Wait, you've actually seen this show?
Yes.
Oh, wow, I had no idea. Okay, cool. Do you want to give us the 3 R's?
Shit out of 10, would show to my mom, and I would definitely recommend it to my grandma.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Bleok!
I don't know how you're going to hear my voice, but it's happening.
Alright, cool. Okay, you can leave now, Nate.
I'm going to go to work. I'll see you guys later, like, nerds.
Alright, cool.
I'm so tired. I want to go to sleep, but I got to go to work. Oh, yeah. It's a great combination.
Alright, what was the point I was trying to get to there?
I don't know, man. You started.
Narumi, he just reminded me of Otanashi from Angel Beat so much, because as much as I enjoyed the show, the main character just annoyed the fuck out of me because he was so bland and boring, and at times you're watching him do his thing, and you're like, why are you even here? You are literally here just to deliver Dr. Pepper to the kid. That's all you do. Yeah. And then at the end, you have an emotional moment that kind of made me like you, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, characters pretty in hindsight, pretty bad.
That character was shocking, dude. Like his personality did not remain stable. Like honestly, he would change constantly from arc to arc, like the way he reacts to situations and stuff he says. It's like, I don't even know, man. Oh god, like and what the fuck is going on with that sake ritual, and where did that come from even?
Yeah, is that actually a thing in Japan? Because I've got no idea.
I have no idea if that's a thing, but they're just halfway through that Mio storyline, and all of a sudden they're just like linking arms like fucking like 20-year-old girls at a fucking nightclub.
I've seen people link arms like that and share a drink like that, but it's usually with lovers. not
Yeah.
others.
It's usually like a cheesy like proposal thing, or like
That's it.
That girls at bars and stuff.
That's the one time I've ever seen that before. When it was a picture between my dad and his wife. That's the only time I've ever seen it before. Then it popped into this. I was like, well, this is a bit gay. That was my initial reaction to that. So yeah, I would sum up characters pretty poor. And that's also really got to say on that one. There was not one character that really stood out that made me think, okay, I like you.
Well, I don't know. For me, the one character that stood out was the ramen lady because she wasn't utter shit.
She was okay, yeah, but
she was okay. But Alice was an absolute mess. Like,
she was a bitch.
The majority of her dialogue was just completely unintelligible.
It's like she picked up a dictionary and went, I'm going to use this, and this word today.
It's she was trying to sound smart and
exactly,
and arrogant, but it came off as like really broken English and like talking in code, and it's like you have to get a Native American speaker.
It's not even broken
this.
English. It's broken Japanese. It's like that's the thing is it's not like she's trying to speak English or anything. It's just like I feel bad for I really feel bad for her if her has to translate that.
And this show,
none of it made sense.
This show's been dubbed as well, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm really kind of curious how that's actually going to come across in the dub.
Hopefully they looked at the script and said, what the fuck is this? We're just going to rewrite it.
Guy walks in, okay, this show is now about lamps.
Hey, this should make sense now. Wow, you're a genius.
Round of applause.
Yeah, the dude with the guns was just, oh my god. Typical, just a typical faggot gun. Like, yeah, he's just no good. And like, again, trying to sound clever, he's constantly just like shitting out military bullshit. None of it makes sense, is applicable in any way. It's just like, oh, this guy likes war films or something, so like, let's make him use army words, and that's going to make it seem edgy, right?
Oh yeah, that guy who just watched Full Metal. I was going to say Full Metal Alchemist then. Full Metal Jacket, and yeah. So the last little thing I did want to touch up on here, just very, very briefly, was the voice acting, and I thought it was okay.
I will give the main character voice actor props when he was tired. That was some pretty solid voice acting. Like, there was one time where he was just like, oh, you've got to go into work today, and he just let out this like despairing groan, which was fucking great. Like, non-verbal, just like, like that. And I thought, wow, I feel bad for this voice actor because he's got talent.
All right, then, shall we wrap this up and give it the 3 R's? Or do we have anything else we want to throw in there? Good or bad?
Oh, no, I think.
I mean, I could pile on more, but well. I think I'm done.
I'm done. So done.
There's really not much more I even want to say because, like, this show, because the thing is it's so bad on a technical level that I could literally pick apart every aspect of the show. Everything it tries to do, it just comes short on. So like, it's just kind of, I just feel like I'm beating it while it's down at this point. It's just like, if you haven't got my opinion on this show by now, it's like, there's not much more really for me to say. Like, I could just like dig into another aspect of its like fundamental writing or something, but there's no need at this point.
If I could get the clip, I'm just going to throw that clip in there of that kid from The Simpsons like, stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go first then because I think I'm probably gonna give it the biggest score out of all of us. So we'll start off great and then we'll just slowly go down.
Sure.
I was originally going to give this show an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm glad I made you reconsider.
So now I'm gonna give it a 9. No, I'm joking. I can't argue with the bad points that Tom and Eru have actually brought up. I can't argue those points. They're absolutely spot on. What I will say is I thought it was a thoroughly good and perfectly enjoyable show. The ending was... I enjoyed that ending very, very much. And I think it's one of my favourite endings of all time. One of the best of all time? Probably not. But just on a personal level, I thought it was great. Soundtrack's okay. In fact, sorry, soundtrack's great. Voice acting's okay. Animation and visuals are pretty meh, to be honest with you. So for those reasons, I'm going to rate Heavens Memo Pad I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And that most of those marks are just surely through personal enjoyments and personal enjoyments only. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. I honestly think I would. I don't know. I kind of want to say to any subscribers out there who might be even vaguely interested in watching this, go out and watch it and let me know what you think, because if any more people come back and tell me it's as shit as you guys have been saying it is, then you can push me over the point. And rewatch, yes, I'm going to rewatch it because I think if I watch it with a clear head this time,
I don't know if you should, honestly, dude. I really don't think you should.
it's kind of like rewatching Sword Art Online again, because if I watch it again, I'm going to start picking it apart.
You have a good opinion of the show, and I think that's something that you should try and keep. Because
yeah, that's what I'm talking about with Sword Art Online.
I don't think there's any winning situation from you rewatching this, because there's no way your opinion of it is going to go up. You're just going to like ruin a good memory. So
it's kind of
I really wouldn't rewatch it if I was you.
That's why I put it with Sword Art Online there, because when I first watched Sword Art Online, I was totally on board with it. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic show, and then my cousin started getting into anime, and then we both watched Sword Art Online, and I seen his enjoyment of it growing in the same way mine was as every episode hit, and I watched myself very slowly stop enjoying it. So it's kind of like I passed my happiness on to him with the show. So yeah, I don't know about that one. I kind of want to check out the dub, but I'm kind of on board with what you're saying as well, Tom. Just don't ruin a good memory.
Yeah, seriously, I really wouldn't. I think you're lucky that you've managed to enjoy it, and clearly you really enjoyed it when you watched it.
I did.
I have no idea what kind of fever trance you were in when you watched it, like that made you able to enjoy it. But
watch the entire thing sober as well, which is very rare for me, but I did. Tom, I'll go to you next then. What are we rating it?
See, it was a 2, because I came on Skype to you and I said, all right, I got to the end of episode 3, and like I would have stopped watching this show after episode 1 if it wasn't for discussion. Should I keep watching? Does it get better? Is there a point I should watch to? And you said, yeah, check out the next couple episodes. I thought they got better, and I have to admit, it cleaned itself up a bit from episode like 3 onwards. But it didn't get good. It just stopped being so awful. So it redeemed itself to a 3, in my opinion.
It's tough, and I'm going to say no to the next 2. I'm going to assume you're going to say no to the next 2 questions. I was actually going to say, instead of rewatch, would you finish it?
I'm curious to finish it, because with a good ending, it could become a 4 with some heavy like warning labels on it, basically saying like, if you have a tolerance for bullshit, you might be able to get something out of the show. But if you like drop a show after like 2 episodes, if you don't like it, then don't try. But like I say, that's a big if, and I'm kind of curious, because I have to admit the Renji arc is kind of interesting, and I'm just about to finish that. Maybe I'll rewatch it. I might get back to you on that. But recommend, honestly, if you want to enhance your enjoyment of Durarara, sure, maybe.
That's the thing with the recommendation. I do want people to watch it, but I just don't have a good excuse other than I enjoyed it, so I think other people will. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
There is a show out there that does everything this show tried to do perfectly, and I honestly cannot come up with any justification for someone. Like, even if you're just like, if you watch Durarara and you really enjoyed it and you want to watch something like it, just watch Durarara again. Seriously. Like, watch it dubbed.
I think that's actually going to be one of my I'm not sure if I'll be able to get onto it tonight, because me and my cousin are going to be finishing off what have we been watching?
Fate Stay Night.
Fate Stay Nights. We've got to wait till tomorrow for the new episode. Devil's a part-timer. We've been absolutely love the Devil as a part-timer. So next episode I will be back to give you my second watch opinions on that. I don't think it's going to change, because I think it's a really solid show. So Iru, give us the 3 R's on our Heavens Memo Pad, please.
Since I was saying I'm 50-50 on the show, I'm going to have to say 5 out of 10, because there were definitely parts I enjoyed. There were parts I wanted to fucking slap people for. I went into it thinking less of it. I thought I was going to wind up watching a shitty show, and I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't as bad. But
now that's odd, because when I was trying to get you and Valk to watch this, I was kind of hyping it up quite a lot. So I thought you might have went into it expecting something great, maybe, or expecting something to be at least, decent.
Yeah, well, I mean, I I didn't know what I was expecting because I was kind of basing what I was going to see off of the title, and Heavens Memo Pad is kind of a vague title, so I didn't know what to expect, I suppose.
It's still a vague title after you watch the fucking show as well, which is the weird thing.
Yeah, true. I do.
It sounds
finish the last two episodes,
like
and that's why I'm still saying.
Yeah, sorry.
That's why I'm still saying like a 5 out of. No, it's all good. We interrupt each other all the time, but that's why I was saying I think I'm going to stick with a 5 out of 10 right now. It might go up a point or so when I see the ending, because like I said, I do still have to see these last 2 episodes. I would recommend it to the right person. It's not a show for everybody. I know I started showing it to my friend. I was streaming it for him, and I know he was enjoying it, but again, that was only like the first episode or 2, so...
I think what you mean to say is that you talked him into getting a Crunchyroll account and he bought it himself because we don't endorse illegal streaming because it's highly illegal.
That was all.
Nice save, dude.
And now to take a quick moment from our to take a mention to our sponsors at horriblesubs.com. But
Pirate Bay.
And the Pirate Bay. Whatever version of whatever proxy that you're using on the Pirate Bay.
Free Pirate Bay from Swedish prison.
So on a final note, I'm not going to ask you if you would rewatch it, but I assume you're going to finish it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely want to finish the last 2 episodes, and actually I kind of put those last 2 episodes on hold before this podcast, so I'm probably going to go watch that when this is over. But no, I'm not probably going to rewatch it. I don't know. Maybe if there's another season, they try and continue it, but I don't see that happening.
That's the thing as well. One very quick final mention. When I got to the end of this, I thought, okay, we've clearly wrapped everything up that needed to be wrapped up. But do you know if this gang of characters were going to go about solving mysteries and stuff like that, I thought to myself, I could probably watch that. As goofy as these characters might be and stupid, sometimes it was really fun to watch. So I thought, yeah, if maybe there is room for a second season if they really wanted to, but you don't need it. And we have a message from Bleok. Hi, your waifu is shit. Get fucked, nerd. Iru, your response.
Nate, I love you too.
Wow. A BM.
Nate's got horrible, fucking 10 million times worse waifus, so...
He's not wrong. He's right, he does. Right, lads, I'm sorry it's happened again. This just never normally happens on a podcast, but I've really got to go and pee. I'll be right back.
Some intermission music going.
Yeah, it's like the do.
No, that sounds more like porn music for me. Anyway, so, Tom, let's transition.
Grant, you guys bullshit about for a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I think we can start off with Parasite.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's talk about Parasite. How far in are you?
I believe I'm caught up to the most recent episode, or not the one that was just released, but the one from last week. So that was
the most recent one. He there's some dude tries to punch him, and he grabs his shoe and throws his shoe at him. You see that bit?
I don't believe so. If that was episode 9,
so I think you're one episode behind me.
Yeah, I had just seen the conclusion of what happened with his dad and mom and all that shit.
Oh yeah, that stuff continues as it should. Obviously, like that kind of situation would haunt a family for decades, you know. And the fallout of that event definitely becomes a big part of the show. I think, well, definitely part of the next episode, but part of the show going forward. That show's really good. It's because I'm currently keeping up to date with, let me think, 3 shows actually: Fate Stay Night, Parasite, and I Can't Stand What My Husband's Saying.
Much better. Right, for all the shit you probably just spoke about me, Iru, I've recorded all of it, so...
No, we're just talking about Parasite.
All right, so on that note then, sticking to our old format, we should go on to weekly watches now if you just want.
Yeah, so
we'll just continue uninterrupted then, shall we?
Oh, so while that was being recorded while I was okay, go, Parasite.
Fucking smooth. Wow, what a slick operation you guys have got here.
I know, man, it's fantastic. The main host of the show fucks off halfway through for a piss and then interrupts a perfectly good conversation when he comes back.
All right, so what do you think of the soundtrack?
It's shit. Next.
Not you.
Coming from the guy that's watched one episode. Anyway.
I was only joking.
God damn it! I can't say I paid too much attention to actual soundtracks, but from what I've noticed, it fits the show really well. It's when there's action scenes, there's good music behind it, and then the rest of the show just kind of flows. So, I mean, it's not bad to the point where it clashes, so I want to say it's good because it flows. Like I was saying, it flows with the show.
Yeah. So, I mean, this brings up the question, which I think is very interesting. Is dubstep good battle music? Honestly, because I'm very adamant on that as a firm yes. I think it's really good, but obviously, man, dubstep is very clearly a Marmite kind of situation. There's a lot of people that absolutely fucking hate it.
Yeah, I want to say that's a niche situation because, like,
so I kind of
like some mech scenes or like with Parasite where you got some really trippy out of the world shit. It's good, but if you had it, you know, in like a boxing ring, it might not be so like.
No, it wouldn't work. It
like
wouldn't work in that situation. It's definitely more of like a superpower battle kind of music, you know. No, because I've been noticing there's definitely been a lot more like EDM, especially dubstep, actually coming into anime. Like there's some really good like house music in Free. Like the OP for Brunhilde in the Darkness was just an instrumental dubstep track, which was really good actually.
On that note, Tom, I just want to ask you very quickly. That is actually happening in Fate Stay Night, isn't it? I've noticed I'm not paying too much. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, the Fate Stay Night soundtrack, the dubstep is really well done. Like, it reminds me of an artist called Varian who has like orchestral music, like big epic like Lord of the Rings battle-y music with like a dubstep beat to it. Which actually, I think that's a really, really, really cool like fusion, like genre fusion.
If
I think Fate Stay Night is actually nailing it as well.
If I was to talk about that maybe a year ago, I would say absolutely not. How can you mix like electronic stuff in with classical music? But then I had soundtracks from Guilty Crown and Attack on Titan, basically Sawano's work, and I think to myself now, actually, yeah, that really fucking works.
In the right hands, it's really good. It's really good. I mean, basically, dubstep replaces the bass line, you know? And, like, orchestral music has got giant drums and cannons and shit sometimes, you know?
Cannons. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a perfect fit, and it just has this, like, really, like, energetic feel to it. You know what I mean? It's, like, edge of your seat kind of music, which... and it definitely fits Fate Stay Night's kind of, like... I mean, it definitely looks electro, you know? It's, like, Caster versus Archer.
I am enjoying the soundtrack. I'm not paying too much attention to it. I can't wait for it to be released so I can just sit down with a pair of headphones on.
There are a lot of tracks from Fate Zero in there, I've noticed, which is good. Fate Zero had a really solid soundtrack.
And it's so strange as well because Yuki Kadra isn't actually doing the music for Fate Stay Night.
Sure, but I mean, it's the same tracks, you know. It's
definitely got a very similar feel to it.
No, there are tracks from the Fate Zero soundtrack in Fate Stay Night. It's not like the same music. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Oh.
They're reusing some of the OST from Fate Zero, especially in the first two episodes. I noticed. I can't remember the names because I didn't like dig down into that OST much. I put it on a few times.
Wow, I can't believe like me being such a big Fate Zero fanboy. I thought maybe I might have got onto that, but apparently not.
No, I mean I feel like the majority of it is new, but there was definitely a Fate Zero track in the first two episodes. Definitely 100%.
Now, as much as I am enjoying the music from Fate Stay Night, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good from what I've bothered to pay attention to listen to. But I was on a thread on and some guy was like, well, what if Sawano done the music for Fate Stay Night?
Just don't, man.
And then some guy, he made this webm of Archer firing that bow at Berserker. I think it was in episode 5, I want to say.
Yeah, 5 is a battle episode, yeah.
And he picked the track from Aldnoah Zero and played it over that scene, and I thought, oh my god, if you could actually add in the sound effects from that scene into that music, it would be so perfect. But that's just me having a wet dream. That's Sawano with Fate Zero or anything from the Fate franchise. Like,
it's like the Matrix, you know. They made a perfect world and we rejected it. It's like that would be the perfect world, man. I don't know if we could handle that. Honestly, the
day that happens when UFO Table and Sawano pair up together.
God, just don't.
I'm not going to, man. I'm just going to step away from this conversation. I'm going to say get back to Parasite, and
I think the Attack on Titan and Sawano's combination was like as godly as we've gotten. Really, I will stick to my guns and say that is the best anime soundtrack by a square mile. Like, because the thing is I'm not a soundtrack guy. I know a lot of people will like download soundtracks and listen to them. which I get why, because you associate those songs with moments from a movie you like. It's like an extra layer of enjoyment onto music, but actually I don't really buy into that much, but I listened to that OST from Attack on Titan.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I couldn't really decide whether... I think after Aldnoah Zero finished, I was like, yeah, Aldnoah Zero, easily his greatest work, easily the best soundtrack I've ever listened to.
Really?
But, yeah, I love that. I love the soundtrack. But
Interesting.
After that, I found a video online somewhere, and if you guys can go out and find it, you've absolutely... If you are a fan of Sawano or Attack on Titan, you've got to watch this video. It's a live reading of Attack on Titan in a stadium in Japan. Sorry, not a stadium, an arena. I think it could fit something like, say, 15,000 people. And they done a live reading of Attack on Titan, and they had an orchestra doing the backing track for it. And they played all of the best music from the soundtrack. In fact, I think they played most of the music from the soundtrack, and it was one of those things, you sat there and you're watching it and you're thinking, this is amazing, but if I was there, oh my God, how much better would it sound? I will link you to that. That'll be a PPL post.
I really want to watch that.
A post-podcast link. It's not been subbed or anything like that, so when the voice actors read it, you sat there scratching your head going, what the fuck's going on? But the music is fantastic. So now, here's where I step back, and I'm going to let you guys go back into your Parasite conversation.
Side tangent about live music. And this is more video games than anime or anything, but I've been playing Final Fantasy games my whole life. Going to the orchestral composition Final Fantasy Distant Worlds, where the traveling orchestra or whoever plays these live Final Fantasy pieces. Seeing that shit live set to whatever video they had going was just phenomenal. So I could only imagine Attack on Titan having live music behind it would just be phenomenal too.
I actually think Sawano is one of the biggest talents in the anime industry, and I really genuinely would not be surprised if he gets poached by Hollywood.
It wouldn't surprise me that man is just genius. The only word I could think to use.
He is very samey, but it's honestly
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at all of his OSTs, I think he walks a line between being very repetitive and having a signature sound.
I would say it's more of a signature sound. It's not so much.
Because you always know when you're listening to Sawano.
I was going to say
I linked you that Seven Deadly Sins clip, didn't I? With
you did, yeah.
And I hadn't actually realized he did the score for that. And I had to check twice, because I checked after the first two episodes. I checked this sounds like Sawano. Is some guy doing a really good job of impersonating him? Because I checked the first time and I couldn't find a result. So I was like, probably not, because if it was Sawano, it would be pretty big news.
I don't think it's not so much Sawano's own music. It's the artists that he uses in his OSTs that make it so obvious that it's him. I always Amy Blackschlager, I think her name is, or something like that. And then there's Mika Kobayashi. He always uses those two girls in his soundtracks, and there's another band whose name escapes me. But it's always it's always those ones that sound the most samey, if anything.
I honestly, you can just tell. There's just something about that music which you can just tell it's his. And I can't put my finger on it because I'm not a music person. I can't use the words in the right context, But I actually had to check again, to make sure, this has to be Sawano. It sounds just like him. And I actually managed to find it the second time on Wikipedia. It's this is Sawano. How the fuck didn't I hear about this? Did you watch any of that show after I linked it? Because you seem pretty into it.
I do have it queued up, which is another way of saying I've downloaded it, and I am going to get round to it. I am going to get round to it eventually. I think it's a dabble, honestly. I don't know. I'm really happy with where I dropped it, honestly. I thought, this is a fun show, which I don't really have any intention of watching right now. But I enjoyed what I watched of it. The only thing I've managed to watch this week is episode 8 of Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso. This week has just been fucking hectic for me.
Should we talk about that, actually? Or should we finish Parasite?
Go ahead, finish Parasite, and then we can jump onto Shigatsu.
So go ahead.
I was really surprised. I didn't know what to expect completely out of that show. I mean, the name itself is already kind of interesting because it's misspelled Parasite, so there's an obvious difference about what they meant by Parasite. But then also,
your microphone's dead. Punch it, Chewie. There we go.
It was... Well, I'm sure, Tom, you're the same way. Within that first 5 seconds of that first episode, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? That person just got their fucking head bitten off by something that just morphed. Who slipped acid into my drink? Like, I was very surprised. It hooked me right away. And it's been very, very smart because I like the play between Migi and Shinichi because most times you just have the protagonist bouncing ideas off of other characters. Now it's more like he's bouncing ideas off himself, even though Migi is his own sentient personality. But but Migi still has to take into account Shinichi's well-being. So it's kind of interesting to see how they play off each other and how they're both evolving now.
Yeah, I think that like symbiosis, that relationship is really interesting and well done. It reminds me, it's very similar in its themes and like the philosophy it explores. Very similar to something like iRobot, because Migi is essentially like, I assume he's like a construct, either by some kind of alien race or by humans. He is genetically created in a lab, and he has like he very specifically talks about his own programming. Like his like directive is take over the head. Like that's the only thing he knows when he's born is take over the head, you know. And so he reminds me very much of an AI in the way he talks and acts and thinks. And that's always like AI and like how AIs would evolve has always like fascinated me. And this is a really interesting application of that kind of theme, which I wasn't expecting at all. And honestly, it's one of my favorite themes for science fiction to take. So I really like it. But not only that, it has this really, really small, concise scope. You know what I mean? Like it didn't reach that big. I mean, it could do because those pods things dropped all over the world. And you see like stuff on the news event occasionally, but it's much more about like a personal struggle, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that it does that really well, and plus it handles the dark elements of the show absolutely perfectly. Like when something terrible happens, the consequences are absolutely immense to the characters, especially with what's happening right now. Like this is what I'm talking about with, I mean, just take it quickly back to Heavens Memo Pad. It's just nasty shit was happening and people were just brushing it off or not even flinching. But this, like, bad shit happens and people get traumatized the way they should. And I just think all around it's written really, really well.
There was definitely one part, and it's kind of spoiler territory, so I won't mention anything too specific, but there was one part when I was just like, holy shit, here's this entire part of the show was kind of, I want to say distancing itself from Shinichi, but all of a sudden after that point it became extremely personal for him, and he had much more to think about than, oh hey, I've got to stop, you know, these murders or whatever that's going on. Now he's got to take into account his own feelings, and I'm really glad he got past that. I'm really glad that he realized right away, I have to do this no matter what. I don't care, personal feelings aside.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of the time anime protagonists like bitch.
Yeah, they'll shell up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, while it's a very realistic response to something, in fact it is the most realistic response. Like that's something people rag on Shinji from Ava for, but that's like, he's like a fucking 12-year-old thrust into this like ridiculous war where he's being tortured on a daily basis. Like of course he's gonna fucking break. Yeah. But like I think the way they get around that is actually really interesting, and it's much more enjoyable to watch, because while like main characters breaking into the pressure is very realistic, it's not enjoyable to watch, which is why I think people rag on that kind of stuff when it comes up.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely handles that in a really interesting way that I haven't really seen like that. Yeah, you don't really see like a main character like trying to like keep track of himself, you know, like actually losing who he is.
Yeah, well, and then I think also part of this is coming back to his relationship with Migi, because, again, not trying to spoil or anything, but there's one part where Migi has to take matters into his own hand. God, bad pun. Anyways, and
epic meme, bro.
By the way, I do put a warning up in the beginning about spoilers, so if you want to go ahead, go for it.
It's honestly though, it's like the most current episode of one of the biggest shows of the season, so I definitely feel like there is room to tread lightly on this.
No, I'm gonna say, do you want to throw up a spoiler warning now and then carry on with what you got to say?
I feel what we could do if I come back, I'd love to come back to talk about the ending of Parasite, especially if you, Dave, catch up to it, because I think you'd really like it. I mean, it's just absolutely superbly written.
I don't know, man. I mean, you know me better than most. Do you honestly think I could get into this? Because after the first episode, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about this guy and his magical talking hand.
What didn't you like about that first episode?
I thought it was way too goofy.
It's much more serious later on. It's the same with Heavens Memo Pad. It starts off goofy. It's kind of an intro, but the relationship between Migi and Shinichi is extremely deep. And like I said, once it hits, I want to say like episode 4, it becomes really, really serious because it becomes really, really personal. I mean, like I said, right at the onset, Shinichi was just kind of viewing things from the outside. But once these alien creature things, whatever you want to call them, start affecting him more personally outside of just having Migi become his right hand, it's way deeper because you have to sit there and think about how would you react in that situation? Like, would you be able to come up with the resolve that he did? And honestly, I don't think he would have had that resolve if he didn't have Migi, because I want to say Migi and Migi's cold. Yeah, exactly. Migi's cold, calculating, like you're saying, AI type mindset makes Shinichi realize that I can't always be ruled by emotions, but I can't turn into a Spock-like character like Migi.
Yeah. I mean, there is a point quite early on of no return, basically, where, like, unlike Heaven's Memo Pad, where it tries to bounce between the serious and the comical, like, on an almost episodic basis, like, when the point of no return happens, comedy would just be completely, like, almost irresponsible. It would completely, like, undermine everything that show's done up to that point. So the comedy is definitely something that it uses to introduce you to the idea, the concept of the show. You know what I mean? Like, because the show does have a quite ridiculous premise, so it uses comedy to kind of break the ideas on like, introduce the ideas. But once you hit that point of no return, it's completely serious.
Yeah, Dave, I would definitely say try and at least make it to like episode 4 or 5, because that's when it starts getting really, really good.
No, and you guys have talked me into it. That does sound like something I could find enjoyable.
Yeah. But I think it's definitely a good show to actually have like an in-depth discussion on.
So you want to bookmark that?
I'd love to talk about a good show in detail.
So you want to
stop kicking it. It keeps twitching.
Just fucking die already. But if you want to come back, you're more than welcome to. Like, so we want to bookmark that now. Once it's finished, the collective review on Parasite.
Well, honestly, Parasite and Fate Stay Night are finishing around about the same time, so...
25 episodes is okay.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. No, dude. Fate Stay Night's going to do what Fate Zero did. It's going to do 2 12-episode seasons.
Oh, no. Don't tell me it's taking the winter off.
I think it is.
No!
That's what I read. I don't know what Parasite's doing, actually. I don't know if it's going to be a...
Oh, this is suffering.
I don't know if it's going to be a full, complete series or a half series. I mean, well, we can look into that later, but I think both those shows deserve a wrap-up.
This is just...
yeah, because Parasite is more or less the only other show than Fate Stay Night I'm keeping up to weekly.
Dude, just give me a moment. I need to break the news to James. James, just take your headphone a sec. Fate Stay Night might be taking a break in the winter.
What?
I don't know.
Budget reasons, dude. Budget reasons. They need to get those Blu-rays pre-ordered to fund the next season.
Actually, that's a fair point, yeah. They might be taking a break. And it might not finish until summer.
How many episodes? What episode did I see?
We're up to episode 8 now.
4 episodes, man.
Like 12.
So we got 4 left. But to be fair, I'll Know Zero Season 2 is January, so...
Yeah, Chaika did it as well.
Apparently Fate Zero done it.
Yeah, Fate Zero did it.
I didn't watch Fate Zero as it was airing. I got to marathon it, which is great.
On a lot of databases, it's split between Fate Zero Season 1, Fate Zero Season 2.
Well, god fucking damn it.
Yeah, sorry, man.
You've really upset me tonight, Tom. And you have the audacity to ask me if you can come back. You can.
Well, man, I need to keep doing it, you know?
He's come back and just keep kicking me in the nuts.
No, yeah.
He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick? That's a DBZ abridged thing. I like to quote stupid shit like that because I'm really not that funny. But anyway, Parasite.
Yeah, must watch.
I've been talked into it now. That honestly does sound like something I could enjoy.
The thing is it picks up. It like the goofy stuff starts falling off like around episode 2, episode 3.
I can grit my teeth and bear with 2 or 3 episodes of goofy stuff.
I thought the goofy stuff was pretty good though. Like I thought they did a pretty good job of it.
I enjoy a good dick joke.
Yeah, that's the thing is I love genital humor.
Dave, you remember the scene in Arya the Scarlet Ammo when he's standing there and he's like, oh, this is just her clothes drawer. What could possibly be wrong? And he opens the door and it's her panty drawer and then fucking...
But this is Shiryuki's drawer. This is Shiryuki's drawer.
Yeah.
It does.
There's a moment in I think it's episode 3 of Parasite where it's the same kind of thing, except because Migi has a mind of his own, he fucking morphs into something that would have made the situation just so horribly awkward if the girl had turned around. I really think you're gonna die laughing at that. Well, please don't die, but you're gonna fall over laughing off your chair because you're just like, oh my god, that just happened. What the fuck?
By the way, I do want to kind of like book that in if we can. Arya the Scarlet Ammo. I would very much like to have another couple of people like jump in on with us two on that one. So I really thoroughly enjoyed that show. Just a collective review on that, just to spread the word on it. I think it'd be a good thing. We should get Cassie to watch it. She'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I would rewatch it.
All right then, cool. Well, I have to say, gentlemen, I don't have much time tonight, so we can very quickly go over Fate's Day and Shigatsu if you want, so we could leave Shigatsu and...
We could talk about Shigatsu, because me and you talked about Fate's Day last time. Not that much has happened since.
All I would say is on Fate's Day night is I'm totally fucking hooked on it now. That last episode, oh my god.
Yeah. You're starting to peel back the onion on
Archer, yeah.
On Archer, yeah.
Episode 7, it was like Archer versus Caster and Saber versus Assassin. And I was like, oh my god, it's fucking happening. Find out what happens on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. I was like, no, you fucking... Oh my god.
So, and then, I thought you were gonna do like an actual TVZ thing, like Kakarot.
Does that show actually tell the story better? Because the one thing that's kept me...
He writes a lot of it and does a really good job of cleaning that script up.
Okay, because the one thing that has kept me from continuing Fate Stay Night right now is the fact that it's still going to be the same core story, but told from a different perspective.
Honestly,
it's not like that. It's not like that.
The Bladeworks storyline is actually quite good, even in its like original form. I mean, obviously you hold it up to Fate Zero and it pales in comparison, but I actually think it's a really solid route from the game, and they, like I say, they're cleaning it up really nicely. Like they're doing a lot of rewrites to include a lot of the Fate Zero stuff in the art. And like I say, they're cleaning up the dialogue. Like Shiro is almost a different character. Sakura
is completely different as well. One character I detested in 2006, and now I think she's actually really likable. I don't know. It's just a small change. Like she's just a little bit more confident and
tweaking the dialogue slightly to make it seem just like I say, like it's a huge difference. But basically, the difference is in the original work, Shiro is just like a faith palming idiot, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But in the rework, he's more of a lovable idiot. You know what I mean? He's a lot easier to like, just because they do these small tweaks to the dialogue that just they're doing a really good job of it. Like, this is what I said from the outset, is I said they should condense all 3 routes of Fate Stay Night and basically just do a complete rewrite of it based on Fate Zero. And while that's not exactly what this is, they're definitely like leaning in that direction.
It's closer to it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 things I want to mention here. One of them is going to be actually, no, I'm not going to spoil that. I don't consider it a big spoiler, but all the same, I like the shock of what happened in episode 8, so I'm not going to spoil that. But to try and entice you in a little bit more, Tom, we mentioned splits in the different routes. The original split was in the end of episode 1 when Archer and Saber first fought each other and Shiro stopped Saber. Yeah. That was the first split that you mentioned. But there's another split right here that's happening right now at the end of episode 8, and that was the I'll just say what happens between Shiro and
Well, I mean,
Archer.
if you think back to the original Fate route, Archer gets like fucked up by Saber in like the very first episode, so he's just AWOL for most of the storyline in Fate route, which is why like Archer has a huge influence over the events in Blade Works. But there are a lot of similarities. I mean, if you think about how the game's written, there are a lot of similarities between the three routes in terms of places they go. Like I think Saber fights Assassin the same way in all three routes. Like on the temple steps, there's just a lot of, because there's a lot of reuse scenes, right? And when you
even in this, like just a tiny little tweak, giving Assassin a few more lines, he doesn't
split. It definitely splits. The more the series goes on, the more the series splits. Like I'm pretty certain you're not going to see any scenes you're familiar with going forward. Pretty certain. Can't think of any at least.
No, actually, I'm going to mention this out loud now because Taj just said an hour and a half worth of audio. This is what happens when Tom is on the podcast. We get more fucking content out, and I don't know what it is, man, but I'm fucking loving it. I'm getting the longer podcast that I've always wanted. I would love it to run longer, but again, I'm entertaining tonight. I didn't know I was entertaining tonight. But
how much time you got? Because there's just one. There's like a comment. There's like a joke I've been sitting on about whatever it's called, Your Lie in April, that I really want to drop.
Okay, let's...
If you don't have time for full discussion, I'll just drop the joke, which I'm really proud of.
I can drop 5 or 10 minutes on it. Make a joke.
Well, basically, that show looks really weird, right? And my theory is, because I like to come up with these like fan theories a lot of the time, I don't know if you guys are familiar with my no game, no life theory.
No.
Did you guys watch that series?
I did.
I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Right, so my theory for that is basically, not that deep or anything, but the Sora character, Sora and Shiro, right, Sora's the guy. So the Sora character, like, all of his, like, social insecurities and all a complete act because he's calculating, like, sociopath kind of character. But he does it all to like, reassure his sister because she actually has those because she's a autistic savant.
So you're saying he's pretending to be a big fucking loser for his sister?
Basically, yeah, because like he's kind of like the Lelouch or like light Yagami kind of like cold calculating genius that doesn't give a fuck about social interactions at all. And like it's clearly obvious when he's like playing people in a game, he's got no like social anxiety whatsoever. But whenever his sister like starts to freak out in social situations, he does it too. And I think it's just like a defense mechanism he's come up with to help her out. And that show
makes a lot of sense.
That show is actually, even though it's really dumb in a lot of ways, it's actually quite cleverly written. So I actually think I'm bang on with that theory. But anyway, my theory for this show is that all the characters are water elementals in human form, and when they play music, they start to dissolve.
That makes a lot of sense. Like the water people from Futurama.
Yeah. It's like it's getting ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so gross. Like
the tiny little thing that they drop in the OP with the blonde hair dude and the black hair girl. You see little beads of sweat on the face. You think, okay, I've never actually seen a piano player sweat that much, and I've seen a lot of live performances.
The lights are hot, maybe, but.
And then in the show, they're just dripping fucking wet, and you're like, why?
They're just drenched. Like, literally drenched. You just think, Jesus Christ, these people must fucking stink. What is wrong with these people?
I thought
they have a hormone imbalance or something.
I thought there might have been something wrong with Kiori when she was playing a violin, but then afterwards, everybody else who's played an instrument since then has just been dripping with sweat, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's Doug, that's a fantastic theory you've got right there.
Yeah, I was quite proud of that. But where I actually think that story is going, and I don't know if there's a base material for the show, if it's an original series.
There is, and I
feel like it's probably got a manga, right?
I'm fairly certain you're right. I'm fairly certain it's a manga, and from what I understand, it's nearly finished.
From what I've seen, I think I'm on episode 6. I'm not all the way caught up, but I think it's going to be like a very Western story of like the girl. I think basically that girl's terminally ill. That's my theory, and I don't know if they go into it in the next couple of episodes, but that's not a spoiler. That's a theory. If I turn out to be right.
I have actually... No, we're talking about Shigatsu now.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got it.
That's how smooth the transition was. You don't even notice it, man.
Well, no, I was
I think because that makes sense, the way she like lives her life to the fullest. but it's a really Western story. It's kind of like
and not to mention, she did collapse during her performance as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like when she's in the hospital, so she's like, "Oh fuck, I collapsed again." And like her attitude of like, because it's the thing that made me think of this is when she's talking about wanting people to remember her.
Yeah.
Like almost like she wants people to remember her when she's gone. And I think it's going to turn into like a really soppy, like this fucking tearjerker thing where he's like brought out of his like grey life.
Yeah.
And this like amazing girl who's just like, yeah. And then like the end of the show is going to be like basically her withering away. That's my theory. And I think that would make the show fucking spectacular. If they
think it will be as well, but I from judging by the end of episode 8, I have reasons to believe it might become a harem.
Huh.
Just very.
Wow.
It's a very slim chance, I think, but there's
is that a two-person harem?
3.
3. Shit. Okay.
I'm gonna say, but then again, I've also heard a spoiler which makes me think it could be a 2-person harem, but it won't involve Kaori.
Because that's the sense I got. I mean, if this was a Western film, I would put money on it being this is a cancer story. But that's not a theme that we really see in anime, and I think it would be a really cool change of pace to see that.
It would be, yeah. It would
definitely give me some like Clanad flashbacks, you know, if they went on that route.
Orgasm.
There's another place where we differ. I'm not even going to say anything on that until next time.
Yeah, sure.
I've got mixed feelings on Shigatsu right now because it started off so well, and
right?
Oh, I love that OP. So the full one's out, by the way, and there's an acoustic version that the band done on YouTube.
The acoustic version.
The full band version's fantastic as well with the trumpets and the drums.
Yeah.
But
I'm actually tempted to try and get my sister to watch the show. My sister fucking hates all of the nerdy shit I'm into. But I actually think this kind of show is like I say, it's a really Western story, especially if they go the cancer route. Because she's way into like Fault in Our Stars, and
I don't know. I'm not too sure about that one because I do think there's a bit. There are too many like the Japanese weird humor to it. I think there's too many scenes where that happens.
I do think you should like.
They are fleeting glances only though.
I've been trying to get her to watch Studio Ghibli stuff for years, and she's just fighting me at every turn.
Another point of discussion, I've never seen a Ghibli film before, but we'll save that for another time.
Oh, wow.
I know. I've never seen people... Fuck you! Fire me! I stole the name from Bleok, and I know the password to the YouTube channel. It makes it mine. It's the only thing I've got to say. It's mine. I know the password. What was I going to say then?
You haven't watched Ghibli and...
yeah, but we'll save that for another time on Shigatsu. I haven't... it's weird. It's weird how the more they've brought the classical music element into the show, the less I've been into it.
That's not weird. Who the fuck likes classical music anymore?
I do to an extent. I don't know the names of composers or pieces of music, but I enjoy listening to it.
It's not really about the music. I mean, I don't know. I'm not into classical music, so I have no idea. But it could all be bullshit. It could just be like really mediocre fucking amateur playing or something in the background, because it's not really about the music itself. It's about the effect of the music on the people.
And that is kind of being lost. Actually, no, the effect of the music on people, they're moving it more away from the romance now. We're in an arc where two of Kosei's former competitors are in the same tournaments, piano tournaments, or competition that he's in now.
Hair and the guy with the spiky blonde hair. That's
those two people. Yeah, they've just started coming into it now, and episode 8 was just. It felt like it wasn't filler because there was a lot of explanation behind it. Like now we know what the interactions were between these three people in the past and what have you, and how Arima being Kosei being so good at piano has driven them to become better and brought out the best in them just out of sheer competitiveness and love as well, which is why I'm thinking could possibly be a harem thing in there because it's so blatantly obvious the black hair girl likes Kosei. But we stepped away from the romance, which is something that really interested me in the first place. I really wanted to see, especially after the spoiler that I heard. I am dying to let this. I want to see what's going on between Kosei and Kyori. That's the main thing I'm really interested in. But we've really taken a step back from that. Ty.
Mike.
What?
Your mic's dying again.
That's fine.
I haven't even moved.
It actually cut in a decent time there.
Yeah. Also, I'll say is
Start to wrap up now.
Shigatsu it's fading a little bit, and it's not as entertaining as it first was in the first place. But I don't want to sound like I'm describing Tokyo Ghoul again, like back in episode 9 or wherever it was. But I'm convinced this is going to get better again. I'm convinced this is going to pick back up again.
I mean, from the writing I've seen so far, the staff and especially with the art, I actually think it's got a really amazing, striking art style, and it does some really interesting shots that I'm not used to. And I love when anime directors like mess around with shots, even though Shimbo's been doing the same shit for years. That was really cool when I first saw back in Monogatari. And this show is doing some really, really cool shots, which I'm really into. And I mean, I assume that's still going to keep going. And like I say, the writer's clearly got talent. So
it still looks utterly fantastic.
As long as they get back on track, I feel like it should be pretty good.
Get back on track with the romance and keep up the gorgeous piano scenes is what I'm going to say to finish that. And I'm going to recommend people, if you do like romantic comedies, then and you like classical music, if you just like classical music, then get into it. If you don't, just come and watch it because of how fucking good it looks. And on that note, people have got to pee, people have got to poop, there's anime to be watched. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Anime Abroad podcast. You're probably listening to this on YouTube, but you can find us on iTunes. I will fix that iTunes in the coming weeks when I've got time to fix it, because there is a problem with it. You can find us on Twitter. I think we are at the AA podcast or at Anime Abroad. I can't remember. Link will be in the description below. Like us on Facebook, because that's where you will find most of our stuff. If you want to, you can find Tom on Twitter at Virulence. That link will be in the description as well. If you're short on things to watch, we have a Mal account. I have a Mal account with ratings and stuff like that. Go ahead and look at that. See what you think of that. Am I forgetting anything?
No, seems good, dude.
Right, cool. And watch Heavens Memo Pad and make me feel better. No, do you know what? I know who to ask. SoulScore89, my man, our main subscriber who, I love all of our subscribers, they're fantastic, but the guy who posts comments on every video, me and him always have a chat every podcast in the comment section. If you could watch Heaven's Memo Pad for me and make me think it's still a good show, I'd really appreciate that.
Finish him.
No, don't listen to him. Listen to me. You love me. So thank you very much for listening. Today I have been joined by Tom.
All right, guys.
And I have been joined by Iru. And I've been joined by Iru.
No, sorry, I was distracted again.
You were
smooth.
I am leaving that in the description as well. If you haven't seen the new Infinite Stratos OVA and you like fan service, then go and look at this picture. So goodbye, and I'll be seeing you.